Welcome to Inside Boxing Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez and Steven Johnson. Today we're going to talk about a few exciting things going on in the boxing world. If you remember from the last outing, we talked about Amir Khan and his situation in the Lamont Peterson. And as we wait to see what happens with that, we got some other hot topics that have come around. Steve, big topic going around right now, okay, is Floyd Mayweather. You know, it always seems that Floyd doesn't fight an awful lot. If he fights once a year, it's probably a lot for Floyd, okay? But he always seems to be the topic of conversation all year round, all year round. I mean, he's on the top of many pound per pound list, you know, even though it's a mythical list, he's always on the top of that. And I don't understand how you can have someone that fights so seldom on the top of that list. Maybe because it's that undefeated record or something. Let's talk a little bit about Floyd and his impact into the boxing world.
Well, before we do that, Aurelio, you said we're going to talk about, you know, hot topics. Let me talk about I'm not even going to talk about it. I just think everyone will realize the hottest topic right now. Now we can talk about Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, well, I agree, but this is boxing.
Yes, it is.
This is boxing. We all know what's going to happen, and Tebow's going to go to the Super Bowl, you know. So
Brooklyn Daniels.
So we know that's going to happen. But anyhow, Floyd Mayweather. Tell me, why all the excitement with Floyd? Why all the talk? Why is he still? I mean, you've got fighters out there that are making good boxing matches. You got Martinez, okay, a champion. You've got Chavez Jr. that's breaking out of his shell and going into a thing. You've got old Morales that's coming back and doing some things. You got Bernard Hopkins that was in some controversy. Somehow he had the power to overturn everything, and now he kept his belts. But still, everyone comes back to this Floyd Mayweather, and it's always been about if Floyd Mayweather doesn't fight Manny Pacquiao, boxing's going to die.
Right.
You always hear that. Well, it seems like both sides have given up on that. I mean, we still hear about that fight, and everybody wants to see that fight, but more and more the talk is about Floyd and his lifestyle out of the ring. You know, being sentenced to go to jail, this and that. But give me your take on Floyd Mayweather and what he does and his impact to this boxing game.
Well, Floyd Mayweather, I think we both would be in agreement that Floyd Mayweather is a tremendous talent. First of all, he's a tremendous talent in the ring. There's no doubt about that. Floyd and I would say the Mayweather family as a whole, they understand to the nth degree the business of boxing. And because they understand the business of boxing, they have just played that out in a way that no one prior to the Mayweathers have done. And by that, when I say that, I'm just saying that, as you mentioned earlier, what other fighter have we had in the last 20 years who's been able to fight once, maybe once every 1 year or once every 2 years,
Yeah, exactly,
and still be able to demand the highest dollars, not just high dollars, the highest dollars.
Well, not only demand,
Getting
the high dollars.
Exactly.
Getting the high dollars. Yeah.
So I will give that to Mayweather and to the Mayweather family, that they understand the business of boxing to the point where they have enabled themselves to put Floyd in a position where he can get away with that.
Well, and you have to have the talent. I mean, you cannot just be average Joe fighting and try to pull that, because no one would care. But because Floyd is Floyd, he's undefeated. He does everything proper in boxing. He just does the right things. Even when he fought Jose Castillo the first time, I for one was one of them that felt he lost that fight.
I did too.
Okay, it was a very good fight. Jose Castillo was aggressive. He kind of just fought the right fight. I thought he won. Okay, so did a lot of other people. What does Floyd do? Comes right back and says immediately, didn't have to. He could have did like all the other fighters and shy away and said, no, I already beat him, I don't need to fight him no more. But what does he do? He comes back, and in the rematch,
he takes him out
dominantly, basically showing the entire world, hey, I had an off day, you know, so just shake it off, brush my shoulders, the dust off my shoulders, and let me just show the world that I just had an off day. and that's what makes him such a good fighter as far as the public.
Well, and like I said, I will not take anything away from Floyd Mayweather inside of the ring. My issues have always been with Floyd outside of the ring, and that's been from years. That him outside of the ring has always been an issue. But getting back to your point, if we're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather from now on until he and Manny Pacquiao fight, well, that'll be forever because they're not going to fight.
Which may not ever happen.
You remember when we had our first our Inside Boxing live shows, and,
yes.
I told all of you people, I said the fight will never happen. I was convinced it would never happen, and here we are 3 years later, and it hasn't happened. I just think that there are too many peripheral things. Once again, Floyd, in my opinion, he'd always his plan from the beginning was, I'm going to wait Pacquiao out. I'm going to wait him out. Then he changed it a little bit after that the next year, and he says, I want him to take the test. Okay? Now, the media has got us so, all of us, all confused, where we get reports one day where Pacquiao says, I'm going to take the test. Then we get a report the next day, then Pacquiao hasn't said he'll take the test. My concern in all of this situation, Aurelio, has been Manny Pacquiao has a civil suit against Floyd Mayweather for defamation.
Okay. Yep.
We haven't even talked about that in the last year. Okay?
And
they talk about
that's an active.
Yeah, that case is still ongoing, and
yeah.
So I'm wondering, and me myself, I think the defamation case is pretty much a no-brainer. I think Pacquiao wins that, and so I'm thinking if I'm Pacquiao, I'd turn the tables and I'd wait Floyd out. I'd say, hey, look, from the defamation suit, I'm gonna get $30 million from you.
Well, kind of sounds like that's what he's doing.
No, I'm gonna get $30 million from you. So if you don't want to fight me, hey, don't worry about it. I'm gonna get the money from you regardless.
Sounds like okay. So whose fault is it? From hearing your conversation, it sounds like you're kind of saying the fault lies in Floyd's end, not to make the fight.
Well, I'm
not sure I agree with that.
Well, I felt from the beginning, we might disagree on this. I felt from the beginning that Floyd, the way he's always flaunted, I'm undefeated. Now he's 42-0, and he throws out in every conversation, I'm undefeated. Well, then why don't you go get the guy that everyone, and I would think that we are all in agreement in that. That's the only guy that we see out there right now at the 147 and under weight class that could possibly beat Floyd Mayweather. That's the one person that we all had in our mind could beat him. Floyd now has let that, as far as I'm concerned, he's let that stagnate to the point where most of us don't even care really if they fight.
Well, Floyd doesn't need that fight. Floyd doesn't need that fight, so there's no reason why. I mean, people can blame him, but I'm on the opposite end with you here. Is he doesn't need to fight Manny Pacquiao, so why does he even have to be bothered? If he fights with Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be my way. Floyd, it's going to be my way. It's going to be a 60-40. It's going to be I'm calling the shots, or else I don't need to fight you. I'm undefeated.
Well, then why talk about it?
I'm defeated.
Then why wouldn't he say that?
He basically does.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't say that. He always comes up with an excuse. And when I say excuse, it's an excuse not to say, hey, look, forget Bob Arum, forget Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao and I, sign the contract. Here's the contract, sign it, we'll fight.
It's not an excuse. He's proven a point. He's proven a point that, hey, I don't need you, okay? I don't need you. And if you're going to want to fight me and if you want to fight me, then this is the way it's going to be. You're going to take this test. Okay, you agree to the test? Okay, now you're going to have to train in the United States. He's toying with him. Okay, he's being hood with him. He's saying, I don't need you. You don't mean anything to me. You need me. Okay, you're the one that just about lost to Marquez, or you're the one that lost to Marquez. Marquez beat your butt, and everyone thinks he may have beat your butt all 3 times. So go back and prove that. I don't need you. I've got other fish to fry. I'm defeated. I'm the one everyone sees as the greatest in this thing, the majority of boxing fans. So you come up with something, I'll come up with something. I'm going to prove a point that I don't need you. I'm not hungry where I'm looking for anybody's payday. I don't need you for a payday, and I think that's what he's proven.
Okay, well, having said that, and I would agree with you, having said that, first off, it's a slap in the face of all fans of boxing. If that's Floyd's attitude, is that, hey, I don't have to prove anything to you, I'm the one that's undefeated, you're the one who, by most people, consider, we would all say that the Marcus trilogy is up in the air for however you want to do it. That is a slap in the face for all fans of boxing who don't believe that Floyd Mayweather is is definitely the best without question. The name Manny Pacquiao was a name that was put out there questioning Floyd Mayweather's pound-for-pound fictional title.
Wow.
And Floyd, and so since you asked me, you said, do I think it's his responsibility? I said, yes, it's his responsibility. And I'll ask you this. You're a boxing man, all your life been a boxer, trainer, a coach, the whole bit. When have you ever seen a fighter that would refuse to fight another fighter unless everything was on his terms?
Well, you haven't, because there hasn't been a Floyd.
That's my point. Well,
there hasn't been a Floyd Mayweather.
No, that's not true. There has been a Floyd Mayweather.
Who that you can tell me has been on the same level of Floyd that can sit there and dictate what happens in boxing?
Well, I'm saying Muhammad Ali could do that.
No, Muhammad Ali, that's a different era.
Well, I'm saying in
different era.
Well, when you said who else could do that, I'm talking about different eras.
Well, I mean, the money was different. We weren't talking about $20 million a fight with Muhammad Ali. I mean, if he was making that fight, I'm sure he wouldn't have fought as much. Okay.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that because I don't see any other fighter other than Floyd Mayweather that is not active. There's no other fighter that's not active.
Let me tell you, if I can make $20 million a fight, there would be no reason for me to even think about fighting more than once a year.
Okay, then why is Floyd allowed to get away with this?
Because he can. Because he's the best.
But wait a minute. That's what I'm saying. The name Manny Pacquiao has been issued for the last 3 years as a challenger to that title of the best.
By whom?
By Floyd Mayweather.
No, Floyd Mayweather knows he's the best.
No, well, he says he's because he's undefeated.
Yeah.
And well, let's go down this road. Since you want to go down this road, okay, let's go. Floyd is undefeated. Floyd, in my opinion, is determined to leave boxing at some point being undefeated.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I'm saying because he feels like leaving undefeated gives him a niche as one of the greatest of all times. And I disagree with that 100%.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It
doesn't. Not when his right now his legacy is going. The legacy of Floyd Mayweather right now is going to be fantastic in the ring. Wannabe gangster, wannabe rapper, wannabe. And that's where his legacy is going to be.
Okay, let me tell you, because we're going to go on a break and we're going to come back. But let me leave this for them so we can come back into the next segment of this issue. Okay, because I
kind of like that. He's a wannabe.
Really? Okay, number one, I've had the opportunity of training 2 or 3 times in Floyd's camp, so I kind of have an insight, and I know what this man is. I know his training. I know how hard he works to do the thing. But anyhow, outside of Pacquiao, because we got to go to a break, who can Floyd fight that can even stay in the ring to even test him?